Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. This channel is for educational purposes. We check out important theories and discoveries and concepts that would really help you if you only knew about them, but they've been suppressed and they're way over at the margins. They require a good deal of digging and a good deal of digging internally as well. Some of them are uh, hard on the emotions. You have to give up your cherished beliefs and also hard mentally. Sometimes you have to strain your brain. And so this channel is pretty much for diggers, people who've probably been red pilled and so are desperate for more info about things. And that's kind of explains me. I've been doing this for a long time and probably be doing it for a long time more because I've got a long way to go. But seems like every year I learn something new and I get completely red pilled about something where it's like, wow, I can't believe I still accepted that after all that time, and then now, uh, I figure out something different. So that is maybe what I bring to the table here for this segment, which is called Your Blind Side. And this is for the anids and diggers out there, and for you to hopefully um, recognize there's somebody out there looking uh, at your blind side, you know, trying to protect you, going to give you some heads ups because I recognize that you're pretty preoccupied with the info war, and some of those digs are very crucial, but they don't go that deep because they're mostly dealing with things in the 20th and 21st centuries. So they don't really cover our deepest beliefs, things that we picked up, you know, culturally familial things, and ritual and uh, like holidays and these kind of things that are that cement a kind of a feeling in your heart for them. um, these are the very things that we have to deconstruct. Ask yourself, is there evidence for this? Is this did this is this true? And I feel like that is the standard. You know, we can't be having beliefs that are not true, regardless of how comfortable they are. Faith is one thing, but faith doesn't stand up to a lack of evidence. Um, Faith is appropriate when there is no evidence either way. But if there's evidence one way or another, then I think a truther position is to go with the evidence. Um, and unfortunately, that is what the case is here for all the Western religions. And that's why I believe that as a movement, we need to move forward on under the banner of deism. Deism is that something that many of the founding fathers espoused, Thomas Paine especially, but also Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Young, and Benjamin Franklin, James Madison to some extent, and George Washington to some extent. Um, Even John Adams and James Monroe, apparently a little bit. Um, but Ethan Allen, And deism is basically the belief in one God who is good, and that God has endowed human beings with higher mental spiritual faculties such as reason, but also intuition and creativity and inspiration and wonderment and curiosity and conscience, aesthetics, justice. And through these higher faculties, the human being can behold God's creation and understand God directly through, the laws of physics and geometry and mathematics, and the beauty, the elegance um, of the creation. And so there is no need for intermediaries like priests and pastors and popes and rabbis and imams. And there is no need for, and also scientists. I mean, I'm not saying that there is no need for scientists at all, but there's no need to give up your authority to them, um, and let them make pronouncements about, things, and you have no say. That's the key thing that we're moving into for the golden age, is that everybody has to be responsible for their own, beliefs. And that's where we're headed. That's why deism, I believe, is a much better compromise position. One God. I think we can all, you know, even the pagans out there can kind of agree on that. That, you know, God of nature, and a good God, and one that we can behold directly and understand directly. No need for books. Not that I don't like books, but religious books can get into a whole lot of uh, conspiracies, frauds, mistranslations, interpolations, and councils and psyops. So I'm thoroughly suspicious of all of the religious texts, and I think that you are being childlike if you believe them. Um, you don't believe nursery rhymes. You don't believe Greek, Norse, Chinese, Indian, Egyptian mythology. Well, that's what's in the Bible is mythology. It's the same thing. They're the same stories. Many of the story, I mean, all of the stories of the New Testament are just borrowed from mythologies. Every last one of them. There's nothing in there that isn't in some older mythology. So, ask yourself, is it legit for me to believe that this really happened when the the source that this comes from, which is, much older than the New Testament? I've already downgraded that to being a mythology. But the derivative story, I have decided that that one really happened. And just to ask yourself if that makes sense. Um, okay. Like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute, and remember to watch your blind side.